So this is Mark 9, chapter 9, 17 through 29. So it sounds long, but it's a story. It's really fun, and it's got a payoff, so bear with me. So this says, and this is a story. This is one of Jesus's many miracles. So I'm going to try to act it out the best I can. A man in the crowd answered, "Teacher, I brought you my son who is possessed by a spirit that has robbed him of speech. Whenever it seizes him, it throws him to the ground. He foams at the mouth, gnashes his teeth, and becomes rigid. I asked your disciples to drive out the spirit, but they could not." "You unbelieving generation," Jesus replied, "how long shall I stay with you? How long shall I put up with you? Bring the boy to me." So they brought him. When the spirit saw Jesus, it immediately threw the boy into convulsion. He fell to the ground and rolled around, foaming at the mouth. Jesus asked the boy's father, "How long has he been like this?" "From childhood," he answered. "It has often thrown him into fire or water to kill him. But if you can do anything, take pity on us and help us." "If you can," said Jesus, "everything is possible for one who believes." Immediately the boy's father exclaimed, "I do believe, help me overcome my unbelief." When Jesus saw that a crowd was running to the scene, he rebuked the impure spirit. "You deaf and mute spirit," he said, "I command you, come out of him and never enter him again." The spirit shrieked, convulsed him violently, and came out. The boy looked so much like a corpse that many said, "He's dead." But Jesus took him by the hand and lifted him to his feet, and he stood up. After Jesus had gone indoors, his disciples asked him privately, "Why couldn't we drive him out?" He replied, "This kind can only come out by prayer." So I know the Bible was written before the days where mic drop was a thing, but that was definitely a mic drop moment for Jesus. Plus, he was sassy, so this is like my favorite story. So essentially in this, Jesus drives out an evil spirit out of a boy who's been affected by this his entire life. It robs him of his speech. It prevents him from living a normal life as a child. And the boy's father asks for him desperately for help. And he actually doubts Jesus' ability to do this. He asked if you can. And I can't imagine the face on Jesus when he heard this. "If I can? Excuse me." That's like taking a test and asking your teacher if she can grade it. Yeah, I think that is within her abilities. So Jesus commands the demon to come out anyway, even though the guy's father is weird. So when his disciples asked him why it wouldn't come out before, he says, basically, this kind of problem can only be solved by God. And I really like the phrase having demons because it applies to this literally, but also applies to the rest of us very figuratively, in that we all have our demons. I definitely have my demons. In fact, one of my best assets is being an introvert. And how many of you are introverts, just like a show? Really? That's less than I thought. I don't know, maybe it's just the people I hang out with, but all my friends are introverts. And what being an introvert means is that we direct all our energy inwards instead of expelling it out into the world where things can actually happen for us. So it's a good thing because we get to think a lot, and it's because we get to look before we leap, but it's also bad because we are terrified of public speaking and just anything having to do with the world around us, so it's very difficult. And in some statistics, public speaking is actually ranked the number one fear, and death is number 2. Because it's I'm going to heaven anyway. And I probably won't have to do any public speaking up there, right? Exactly, yeah. So for my entire life, I've known that I was an introvert. My entire family is an introvert, so it was no big deal. But I kind of normalized this. I was terrified of public speaking. I got very anxious, and I still do. But I was just kind of it's okay. It's just part of life. But then I actually went through this weird phase when I was a kid where I wanted to be an actress, just completely contrary to my entire nature. I don't know why I did that, but it's just one of those kid things, right? And so I started looking up, places to audition, and actually auditioned for my middle school play. And I was there for 5 hours because it was running super slow. But this super nice 8th grader came up to me. I was this tiny little 6th grader. She came up to me. She was actually in a theater program. She was really talented. She started working with me and coaching me and being really nice to me and just telling me, hey, this is how you deliver a monologue. This is how you present to somebody without, shaking all the time. And I felt for once like somebody actually believed in me. And that was a really nice feeling. Unfortunately, I didn't get the part. It's very crushing. But what wasn't, yeah, why are you laughing at me? My pain? No, but I was really sad that I didn't get the part, but the crushing part was not that I didn't get it, because I kind of expected that. The crushing part is what I said to myself afterwards. I said, this is because of who you are, because you can't realize this dream because this is your personality. And that was my attitude my entire life, and I'm still kind of trying to get away from that right now. Society, teachers, my parents always kind of assume that, like, because I'm afraid of something like, I can talk in front of one or two people, but public speaking, that's never going to be a thing I can do. So being an actress, that was kind of a ridiculous dream for me. Even my mom, I had to write this, 3-page, proposal asking her if I could be an actress because I didn't want to see her facial expression when she read it because I knew that she was going to be doubtful. And that was terrifying. But I came to this church about half a year ago, right? And I started preaching a few months ago. And I was absolutely shocked when I came up here that I actually liked this. That was amazing for me. I'd had that dream years and years and years ago, but it was somehow still inside me, and I had no idea. And then I came up here and I talked to you guys. You guys are amazing. And I was like, wait a minute. This is me. This is my personality. This is who I am. And actually, this didn't really hit me until I was walking with Alex from the building over there to this building. He actually told me that I had a talent for public speaking, and I almost cried on the spot. I really did. Because I always pushed myself down and told myself that my dream was false due to this preconceived notion that I had about myself, but based on what? Because it wasn't based on God, that's for sure. I know lots of you have preconceived ideas, these realities that you live in, because that's the way it's always been, and that's what society has told you, that's what teachers have told you, that's what your parents and your friends and yourself has told you. But your dreams are not false, because who gives you those dreams? God. And is he wrong? Is it out of Jesus' reach to do this for you, to come down and cure you? This is totally within his abilities. So if you ask God what kind of preconceived notion he has about you and what he sees in you, he will send his only son, Jesus Christ, to cure you, to realize those dreams. And who are you to tell him he can't? So if you feel robbed by your speech or possess something that prevents you from living a normal life, take that first step. Ask Jesus if he can cure you. Ask God. Don't lie down and let these demons possess you, whatever they are. Because if you ask and if you believe in God's power, then he will absolutely 100% cure you. I guarantee it. Because it's not out of his reach. Nothing is out of his reach. He's God. He created you. You think he sees something in you that you can't do? He would not give you that inability. That's not who he is.